Hi team, Coach Tim here, and just wanted to take this quick opportunity to share with you guys really one very unique and interesting component, the angle of attack, and how that affects just how far we can potentially hit the golf ball. So, what is angle of attack? And we're taking a look at Brooks Koepka here, and we want to see exactly what does the angle of attack mean. And you can see over here on the left-hand side of the screen, the blue line represents the angle of attack. And Brooks' golf club, as his golf club is approaching the golf ball, is working on a downward angle of 3.7 degrees. Hopefully you can see the gray dotted line there, which represents 0 degrees or our baseline. When we take a look at Brooks's motion, even though he has his ball position way towards his target foot, which is supposed to help us add loft or help us swing up on the golf ball, you're going to see here as Brooks swings the golf club back and swings his golf club down, that his golf club is still traveling low. The low point of his golf swing is not until after he struck the golf ball. So that means the low point of his swing circle is after impact. And let's just see exactly where that is. TrackMan actually does track that for us. Excuse me, Brooks' low point was 4.3 inches after impact. Okay, so we know that the shape of his swing circle, its low point is taking place after impact, all based again upon the angle of attack. Now, why is this important? I want you to note that Brooks' club head speed is 121 miles an hour. His ball speed is 170, almost 179 miles an hour. That creates 297 yards of carry and 317 yards of total distance. Okay, so try and remember those numbers. Now let's go ahead and bring up Justin Thomas here, and I want you to see how Justin Thomas, when he has a driver in his hands, his total distance is just right around a yard shorter than Brooks, and his carry distance is about 5 yards shorter than Brooks. But let's take a look at this here for a second, and I want you to notice that Justin's club head speed is a good 5 miles an hour slower than Brooks. His ball speed is also 5 miles an hour slower. So how does Justin get more out of his golf game? How does he get more out of his golf swing? And it really comes down to his angle of attack, which is an upward angle of attack. And just so that we're clear about that, take a look at how Justin's blue line here is actually moving upward as the driver starts to strike the golf ball versus the exact opposite of what Brooks was doing. And when we take a look at the golf swing itself, right, you're going to go ahead and start to see that same kind of component. You'll see a very different look to Justin's delivery of the golf club, and you'll start to see that Justin's low point is before the golf ball. Okay, so here's Justin right now delivering the golf club, and somewhere in between that frame and this frame, and you'll really see it on this next frame, Justin's golf club has started to travel upwards as he strikes the golf ball. Okay, so if we take a look again down at the bottom here, we can see that Justin's low point was 3.6 inches before the golf ball. Now, here's ultimately what all this means here for you guys. And to a large degree, Brooks probably has a slightly downward angle of attack because he does have more club head speed. And he's probably trying to find more fairways. Obviously, if these guys miss the golf ball just by ever the slightest bit, it can really maximize their misses. So a downward angle of attack doesn't allow the golf club to travel, or the golf ball to travel up so high, and has a better chance of finding fairways. Whereas Justin here, who is probably 4 to 6 inches smaller, probably weighs 40 pounds less, can't create the same amount of club head speed, is trying to maximize how far he can hit the golf ball by trying to strike more up on the strike. And that's the important question for all of you to kind of start to understand about yourselves, is based upon your club head speed, if you are not a PGA Touring professionals, which of course hardly any of us are, you probably want to look at trying to have an upward angle of attack to have a better chance of maximizing your club head speeds. Even LPGA Touring professionals, on average, have an upward angle of attack to try and help them maximize their distance, whereas PGA Touring professionals have a negative angle of attack to help them find more fairways. And again, I think that's solely based upon how fast they strike the golf ball. So, hopefully this information is somewhat interesting to you, and if you have any questions about how to try and maximize your capability here to strike your driver farther, come on in and see me with my TrackMan, and we can maximize your club head speed to the golf club that you're currently using. This little feature that I have up here right now basically shares with us that as good as Justin Thomas's strike was on that last swing, look how both his carry number and his total number can actually be maximized. You can see that these little orange numbers that we have identified, or these are the numbers that TrackMan identifies as being the best way to be able to maximize how far you hit the golf ball. So, Justin Thomas's launch angle was a little bit on the high side. His ball speed was a little bit on the low side. His height looks ideal. His spin loft, which is basically, what's the difference between the angle that his golf club approaches the golf ball as well as the amount of loft that he has on the club face, that's on the high side as well. So, as good as Justin performed, the scary thing is that he could have found a driver and a shaft combination that would have helped him hit the golf ball a farther distance than this specific strike. So again, if you have any questions about this information, please don't hesitate to come on in and see me, or email me and text me and let me know how I can be helpful to you. Alrighty guys, best of luck. I can't wait to see you back up on the Academy site at Pelican here in the near future. All the best.